Yeah, I was gonna say that was the first next hero I was gonna say. If they don't ban the QoP, I would, if I'm DogChamp, I'm snap picking that. And like basically, like that hero is just absolutely guaranteed lane victory against the Batrider. Also synergizes super well with the Mars Arena, just bumping people back into the walls over and over. Um, they grab the Crystal Maiden, so it is gonna be the 4 position IO. We'll see that in the off lane, see him in the safe lane. She's a little bit weird into this like Batrider, for they end up deciding to flex it into the 3 just because like you just are pretty like easily like poked down from range, but she does have so many slows and the root that like Batrider, if he just decides to overextend, gets like pretty heavily punished by it. So I'm curious. Could be something like the Juggernaut. We could see the Slark come out again. Here that we don't see as much, but it's still good in these matchups, are things like Phantom Lancer. Trying to think what else it could be. We'll see. They got time.
Yeah, carry wise as well, and just knowing that like Stonebank. I think the coolest hero they could pick would be the lone druid, but you know, not everybody is a lone druid fan, even though I still think that hero is ridiculous. And maybe at TI when we see Ame picking LD every single game, maybe they unlocked how to win TI, but the cut kind of throw a curveball here. Been picking up both the Bloodseeker and the Disruptor in this phase. Usually, this is kind of illegal. I think the only reason they can go for a Bloodseeker in this position is because they have the Batrider and they can swap up the lanes. But
Yeah.
picking a Bloodseeker this early, typically you're just saying, okay, well, we're gonna guarantee lose every single carry matchup now, and we have to be okay with it. But maybe because they just put the Batrider in the lane instead, they feel like they can get away. But instead, they keep us guessing even further. They just pick up the puck in the mid lane. I don't necessarily like the Puck as much as I like
Yeah.
the Zeus, just because I think Puck needs to play a little bit closer, just literally to the Batrider, so you can end
Yeah.
up falling into a pretty brutal mistake. But maybe it's just a little bit of confidence and maybe just feeling like you can get a little bit more done in that arena if you just have a Puck nuking from the outside and then having some more disable to follow up after. But yeah, I don't know. This Puck, it's not a bad pick by any means, but I just am worried about that lane.
It feels underwhelming for me. Like I didn't really like see this as being like a big puck game. I would have like actually thought like even Invoker would have been fine, but definitely strange. Like definitely strange. I'm not like super impressed by the puck pick here. Um they go and ban out the Void Spirit, so this is them anticipating like it could just be the offlane Batrider, of course. They pick the hard counter to the puck mid, being that Void Spirit. I'm curious if they decide to ban out like another puck counter. Um, but at the moment, I mean, I guess there's not a ton of catch to this hero. Glimpse obviously just dodged by phase shift. They don't really have like those immediate stuns. They get rid of the life stealer and they get rid of the Juggernaut. So based on that, it's almost guaranteed we're seeing offlane Batrider here, right?
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that maybe they could do here is they just keep it completely open and they look to get something to just kind of counter out. They can't pick a hero like Lesh is the first one that comes to mind. You can't really do that here because there's just absolutely no save from the supports. I'm trying to think. They could pick up the Death Prophet, which would be kind of cool, just so that way they can actually get onto buildings, which is something the cut actually really struggle with right now. And I feel like if they do give the Bat versus Puck lane, then they just move the Death Prophet Marcy lane to go up versus whatever DogChamp wins. I feel like giving themselves some flexibility in this final pick is going to be pretty important for them because DogChamp, I don't think they have the best options available to them right now. I think losing the Jug pick was kind of unfortunate,
Yeah.
but I think looking next in line, heroes that they would look for versus Bloodseeker, I don't know. It really is tough to say, and I think with this pick, they do go for the Invoker. Interesting. So yeah, they
Okay.
do swap it up, and it does mean it's gonna have to be a Batrider off lane, but are they really gonna be that happy? I don't know. This is a
There's not
tough
a lot
one.
that you can pick. Like the typical Batrider counters are things like the okay, it is the
Peel.
Phantom Lancer. As I say, this is the only other one that's left. The Slark counter is or the Slark pick is completely covered on the side of the cut. Right, they have Disruptor, they have Bloodseeker. It's a little bit too difficult to play into, and PL is one of the only other like real carries that deal with Batrider and lane. And in terms of hero matchups here, it's a pretty good PL game.
Yeah, I'm just annoyed because they lock in the very good Nico Invoker, they end up having to put the Batrider versus the Peel regardless. So it's like, whatever. Maybe a more flexible pick would have done them better, but they do almost force the Stonebank PL. And Stonebank, very good PL player, but doesn't matter how good you are at PL. You need time. You need a
Yeah.
lot of time. You need a lot of space. You need your team to be able to make plays across the board. And name a better duo than Mars and Puck to be able to make space, pre 15 minutes. They're completely level dependent, don't really care about too many items. But that's where I feel like it is still a lot of time that you're going to need to give over to Stonebank. And if you aren't getting your plays, those plays aren't panning out, it's where I feel like DogChamp, they need to win 2 or 3 big team fights before Stonebank can even get involved. And then when Stonebank is involved, things look great. But if he's not getting involved, if he isn't able to accelerate, then we've got some pretty brutal, I think, succinct timings on the cut side. They get triple BKB and then they look at DogChamp sideways. What do you do then?
Yeah, there's not a lot. Like, I am pretty excited to see how this one's gonna play out. Like you said, Stonebank is a very skilled PL player. I think I think his PL was like the first hero that I saw him play that I was like legitimately really impressed on. I was like, all right, Stonebank's this guy's the real deal, you know. So we'll see if he manages to get to those item timings. Like you said, super important this game, but we'll see. I mean, DogChamp, it felt like they had the game in their grasp last time, but the Cuts managed to make it happen. So see if they can do it again here. Nico on the mid lane Invoker. He styled last game on his Ember Spirit. Very different type of hero this time, though, so we'll see what ends up happening. 6th game of the evening. Once again, last one to round out the night based on the draft. ET, what are you feeling, man? Who do you think's got this one?
Just because I think DogChamp kind of won the last game too, I kind of want to give it my hat to them. Also, just because I do really believe in the Stonebank PL. I think it still might be a little bit of a struggle, but he is a player that I think can take the game into his own hands and then just kind of play around with it. And like you said, I think the PL, it was one of his like best heroes. Like I want to say two years ago, whenever the hero was maybe a little bit more pickable. But then he started playing Medusa, and then he started playing PL again, and they just lost every game on PL. It was really funny. But then he learned Ursa. Honestly, Stonebank's never been known for having the most heroes, but when he does get something down, he does just become, I think, that monster carry player that you speak in the same breath as like Lumiere or Parker or Patson, where he just takes over a game and you can't really fall behind that. The Cut, though, they do have that BKB timing that I am really scared of, because once that happens, you just run through the arena, you run through the coil, and unless you've got wicked levels, your support duo is very passive. Again, it's all about buffing up your cores that it is so your own game. So if Italiano Gangster and RCY whiff, it can be a real tough situation to play in as some bullying.
Nice rebound there from B-God. Okay, they're going to get a decent chunk of damage on over to B9, and Lil Nick might just be able to get first blood. Couple auto attacks here. Pops the fairy fire. One more auto attack. B-God gets it. Okay. I mean, obviously, you'd love to get that over to the mid lane. Get that early items flowing in for the Invoker, but just didn't want to risk it. They just secure that one. B-God's going to take it on the Marcy. And, B-God's definitely one of the most greedy 4 positions that I know. Well, it's not that out of character.
Oh yeah, he's a vacuum. He takes what he can get. This will also mean that he gets a really early boots, which I can only imagine is going to make B9's life even more difficult. But that's where seeing how this bottom lane plays out. It should be just Little Nick farming, and then eventually Stonebank's forced to pop Doppel, and then we're back to farming, and then a whole lot of farming should ensue.
Yeah. The thing that's really annoying about this matchup is you can't just get like one level of doppelganger in this lane. Like you actually have to get the cooldown, or else like you are just like unable to farm in between doppelganger cooldowns.
And something they also have to be very conscious of, as has really become, I think, a highlight of a lot of team strategies, is CM is really tough to trade into. If you get double Crystal Nova, that attack slow is huge. It is really impossible to make a one trade happen. So even if they do get that pullback and they get Stoneback caught in creeps, you're losing the armor level, you're going to be losing the attack speed in the exchange, and that's where your spells need to do the brunt of the work damage-wise, and it's something that I think the Cut can kind of overplay their hand.
Oh, they got their level 2.
Yeah.
And there it is, the Firefly, 7 stacks on the Crystal Main, but she hits him with that Frostbite, and with that, Stonebank getting aggressive himself, so they managed to survive despite 7 stacks of Napalm.
Yeah, and in that situation, maybe if he skills up the Flame Break, you almost get the kill. It's maybe a little bit closer. But at the same time, level 1 Flame Break is one of the most shockingly bad skills in Dota. It's
Yeah.
actually incredible, because even if you have 9 stacks on a person, the burn damage or burn duration is just so low at level 1 that they
Yeah.
just walk away usually.
Yep. Just 2 quick instances of damage. You're like, all right, well, that was cool. Thank you.
And then they walk away anyway, and you're like, oh, well, my skill build is ruined for the foreseeable future.
So we've got this top lane of Italiano Gangster and Jube taking the Mars Io, and so far it's looking very strong. It kind of makes sense, right? Io just sustains super hard. Mars, a lane bully, right? Kind of always has been. Maybe not as much as he used to be, but...
It's where the one nice thing about this lane, because again, you don't really get that much from the Io being there, aside from maybe some additional mana regen. But it does make your spear actually feel like it does a little bit more damage. You get that overcharge come through, you get a little bit of that spell amp, and then the heroes feel a little bit thinner. But that's where Scourge does not care. And with it having to be such a lane-dominant 4, you have to stay here. If you're not really able to play around runes all too much, you aren't going to be able to secure very much for RCY, and we'll have to see if that becomes a problem later.
Yeah, mid lane right now, pretty much even, 15-1, 13-4. Not all that surprising, but Nico, obviously very comfortable on this Invoker. Going for what looks like just be an early treads. Maybe he'll go back for the Urn, the Midas. We don't quite know quite yet. It is Quas Wex, though. Is that surprising to you?
It's a little odd, I'll be honest. I feel like treads, it's not that item that you say, oh, this is going to start to change the game for me, especially because, well, Brown Boots Midas feels probably a lot better and gives you a lot more levels. I feel like maybe this is just one of those super matchup-specific things. Like, if he has the attack speed from treads, he can kill the puck early on with Cold Snap. I feel like that's something that Nico would try in this type of game.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't really like it too much. But, you know, that's where you almost have to trust that Nico knows something more than you do. Because Nico, there's one thing that can be said about his mid play. He has played a lot of Dota. Almost too much Dota, some would say. So he knows those little things.
All right. Well, all the lanes just kind of farming. No one really... I mean, there's not really kill threat in some of these lanes. The bottom lane, like you would think so with Marcy and Batrider, but B9's done pretty good job with his positioning. I say that right as he gets repositioned into the hands of the Batrider, and that might be first blood. Not first blood, but I guess first lane death. B9 goes down there.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because as much as CM is, I think, a really great hero, you also run into this issue where once the side lanes can pick up raindrops, well, your Crystal Nova doesn't feel very strong as in the top lane. Crazy stuff going on there as well. A lot of damage. Does able to TP home on the Wisp, but at the same time, now Italiano Gangster is completely alone to get right-click harassed. More free farm for Scourge. Even though it's been a pretty close lane top. Really, everybody's been doing a good job of finding those lasts and denies when they can.
I mean, looking at the CS charts in general, like all top 6 cores are super close in terms of like their lane partner. We're going to see 6-minute runes are coming out in a moment, and the Cuts have brought both their supports to the mid lane. Jube is here as well to try and scout this one out. Question is, who's going to get the RNG on this? Obviously, they want to prevent the puck from getting a really strong rune here. Jube in trouble. Cold Snap, EMP, one more auto attack. Just absolutely gets the kill. That being said, Destroyer does or RCY. I don't know why he's not tagged up, but gets the illusion rune bottom. Not a game-winning rune by any means, but will actually allow him to dispel things like Cold Snap, which is not too bad.
Yeah, and it will be able to let him survive one of those nightmare situations. Worst comes to worst, but definitely not your haste rune or your DD that you typically would want to see. Even arcane rune, that would be sick. But yeah, I don't know why he's not tagged up either. I think he's got one of those things where his sponsor is so long it just wraps around. It's probably one of those abuses that really isn't too much of an abuse, but they just think it looks cool. Comes back from Dota players being bored, right? They'll do anything.
Yeah. Well, we've got a little bit of a, I don't want to say like, oh what was I actually had a word in my brain and then it just instantly deleted. So we're not going to talk about it too much. Bottom lane, Lil Nick needs to be a little bit careful. Come forward pretty far. Stonebank has to pop the doppelganger here. But they're now looking for B9 here. And there's going to be the dispose on back underneath that Bat Rider. They managed to find the kill. He gets level 6 with this, and that means a lot of kill threats. So you need to be very careful. Stonebank turns attention on over to B-God, but does not have the ability to chase that one out.
Yeah, and just kind of has to be chilling out. Is
Oh,
Nick?
wait a minute.
He's got
Nick,
he's got
he
5
doppels
stick
for
charges.
this. Chasing forward. Trying to get his way underneath the tower. He's gonna survive just barely. But now you need to be careful because he can stack up these napalms and he's got a lasso. He's gonna definitely try to use it. Does he get the doppelganger in one? He does not. He has a firefly, but he doesn't actually pop it in time. And Stonebank,
Oh,
doppelganger out, stuck underneath the tower. He knows he's dead. He just gives up. Dude, 2 heroes dead. You only get you get like a TP, I suppose, but that is rough.
Yeah, just trying to push the envelope just a little bit too much. They go underneath the tower. They get punished super hard. I'm surprised they weren't screaming more that the Invoker's just going to come. But also, I feel like they should know at this point as well, it's not the time to make the play with the PL. I feel like that's where Italiano Gangster is the one that they should be making these moves with. And you were able to at least get that solo kill mid with RCY. You were able to take out the Disruptor, who's just sapping some XP. But that's where I think they're just trying to make something happen with the wrong piece. And you end up in that super awkward situation where now a lane that Stonebank would have been really happy to rotate out of ends up with a sour death, and Nick is swimming in the levels.
Yeah, he just hits level 7, so you're gonna have that 4th point in napalm. Yep, he does go for it. And with this, you just have absolute kill threat. Like the Phantom Lancer, you only have a single point in Doppelganger, so every 19 seconds, that cooldown is super rough and very difficult to play around. He's gonna try and play aggressive anyway. The Coil does come out here from RCY. Does have the Firefly to work with, and with that, gonna try and fly away. Is it gonna be enough? No, one more auto attack there from the Puck will be able to secure the kill. They do manage to take down Mars in the top lane, so off lane for off lane, I suppose. But overall,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good, I think, for the PL. But, I mean, SMD is, like, crushing net worth right now.
Yeah, no, he's really far ahead. Of course, he's getting that Maelstrom build, and then he's just going to be accelerating even further. But that's where at least that kill brings Stonebank a little bit closer to the Midas. And then once he has that, well, being passive is going to feel a whole lot better. But yeah, there's a chasm of net worth between that Bloodseeker and PL. Really just coming from Scourge, being able to farm both his small camp and his medium camp and the wave at the same time. Just the hero being much more adept at jungling at these early levels as Glimpse all the way back.
Always like, give me a rebound target, but he gets silenced instead. We'll get the D ward in the process. Ping are going to try and TP on out. They have Coil. He'll drop it just to secure this kill. And with that, double kill in there for RCY on the Puck. Making a lot happen early on. And I like this. He's got the treads. Going for the Witchblade now. So a little bit of early game items before grabbing that Witchblade. And it's paid off already.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not that this is even surprising, but this is something that RCY has to do. He has to make plays. He has to put those heroes on death timers as, unfortunately, B9. That was almost super sick, but still ends up going down. The Spear almost pushing Scourge away far enough. But if the Puck isn't making those plays happen, then the jungle gets collapsed on, then there's no fear of those towers, and then you start to lose the game everywhere. And I think that's where RCY... He still wants to make something happen with that Mars at least once. Otherwise, Italian Gangster's Blink is going to feel really bad. But look mid.
Yeah, Italiano. Okay. Spear comes out, pins down the Invoker. He needs help. Who's it going to come from? It's going to be Stonebank. They do have a sentry, but he gets out, and now they're stuck inside this kinetic field. Rupture's going to be onto the PL. Jump forward in from B-God. Disposes him right back. Even a glimpse to finish him off. All that extra damage to Tornado to finish off that IO. They're looking maybe for more, but... with Coil just now coming off of cooldown, RCY thinking about playing aggressive himself to sides. Kind of hold off. 2 kills for the side of the cut. Now 4-10. They're feeling very strong.
Yeah, just not able to connect the pieces quick enough there. It's a really good position. I mean, you get Invoker on the wrong side of the high ground. You can't ask for a better jump. but they weren't able to supply the heroes to get that kill cleanly enough or really at all in time. And even I think RCY may be making a positioning error by going all the way towards bottom, even though it's a lane that somebody almost has to occupy, and Italiano Gangster will make that his new home. But yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow, especially because just for showing up, Stonebank gets punished.
Yeah. And the Invoker now has his Midas. We see the Maelstrom completed on Scourge. So these guys are going to be able to pick up a lot of net worth and a lot of levels here pretty soon. We're almost to the Midas on the Phantom Lancer. It's coming out on the Courier as we speak. So, you know, he's slowly catching up. But like you said, there's so much of a net worth difference between these two cores. It's going to be a while.
No, it's going to be a bit. And okay. Oh, the cold snap. So good. Juva gets taken down, but they also know that somebody is here. You saw the tether.
He's
the tether got broken, and once they find him, he TP'd down here. They need to bring everybody if they want to save
this
Mars.
Only gets a Constellation Courier, I suppose, but Mars not going to get a chance to drop the arena thanks to the cold snap, and Big U just running circles around him, baby. See, that's when you throw the high five up, man. You got to do it. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, but it's just so tough. They also gave the tome, I want to say, over to B9 because there has not been a relocate. We have not been able to bring these heroes together just yet. And because of that, the cut keep on finding these in-between plays. And it's just not looking pretty. It's not feeling pretty either. And
I mean, Nick's totally recovered now, too. He was struggling a little bit, and now he's got himself these drums. He's on his way to a BKB and a Blink Dagger. Ooh, top lane. All right. A little bit of a trade there. Finally, Gangster commits to the arena there to finish off the Marcy, so he's getting himself a little bit of net worth. But you're starting to pull away on the cut here a little bit, right? A lot of space going to be made for Scourge on this Bloodseeker. This is typically how the cut play, right? They just try and group up, make space for SMD to farm his items on whatever hero he's playing. This game just happens to be the Bloodseeker.
And then it just works.
And it works, yeah. They make it happen.
Like, I feel like the few times where the cut have had, like, a unilateral failure is whenever they have a very uncomfortable mid laner or a 3 position. I don't know. I still think about the BTS Bro series wherever Speed and Ryoya were standing in. I don't know. I feel like that was a DogChamp in their true form, but that's where now mid tower. I don't think you can hold this. You have...
you definitely can't. They pop the drums. Fortification does come through, but... they've got the illusion here to tank Nico Alacrity onto himself. Just going to continue forcing down this tower. Italiano Gangster thinking like he wants to try and fight this, but he does not have the arena. He's kind of just... all right, they just deny the tower instead.
Yeah, and it's best of a worst situation, right? But at the same time, a little funky, a little awkward there. And really just great positioning from Nico. If he gives them too easy of a coil there, then they can probably drag out the fight long enough for that arena to just barely come back up. But because it doesn't happen, mid tower still goes down. Stonebank's still farming, he's doing what he can, but I'm seeing those BKBs get queued up. I'm seeing the components, and then we're going to be in that doomsday time frame where if DogChamp don't find the perfect jump, simply a button gets pressed and then the fight is lost.
Yeah. Stonebank is recovering pretty quickly as well, right? He's only about 1,000 behind the Bloodseeker right now, whereas substantially more than that earlier. But he's going to Fusel, and like you said, the BKBs will be coming out from the cut here relatively soon. So we'll see if they can manage to make something happen with those. Yeah, I've seen Phantom Lancers nowadays pretty much exclusively go Midas. I'm assuming that is just like the only way to play this hero at the moment.
And it is. It's like you just don't have options. Getting that super early defusal just puts you on that road where if you don't win the fight as soon as you get it, it just doesn't matter. And again, it's an item that doesn't give you a whole bunch of stats. So getting it rushed doesn't really feel as nice. It's something you have to go because, you know, you're PL and you need to burn people's mana. You need to kind of force those fights to end eventually. But at the same time, it's not worth rushing. You need the levels. You're such a hungry hero. And even though you do get to actually get the XP from your illusion kills, which is something that a lot of illusion carries can't always rely on, like Naga and TB, it still doesn't feel the nicest. But that's where there is a little bit of a pause in this game. Everybody gets to kind of farm, take over certain areas of the map. Cut are still getting maybe slightly more just because they've got this aggressive position on the enemy high ground, but that's where they are still farming very, very nicely. And top lane, Coil went. And Static Storm was also used, but okay.
Well, there's the arena. Italiano will be able to find Marcy and the orb there to help finish him off. So that's a lot of a commitment. Pingu hoping to find someone, but not going to be able to. Little Nick, no Blink Dagger, obviously. Destroyer is just out of mana. Wait, he actually takes the jaunt?
He jaunted. Yeah, they hurt him. Oh my god, and it works.
Oh, Nick finds B9 up on the high ground there and just lassos him into the tower. And yeah, he's actually restoring a lot of mana here on the puck, so he's going to be just fine.
Huh. Yeah, that was funny looking. Destroyer really looked like he was out of gas a lot more than maybe he actually was, but you know, even though your supports did go down that situation,
oh,
yeah,
Nico
walked back to the Invoker.
Deep in the mid lane. Gonna try and just TP on home. Okay, this guy's got something else. I don't know.
Yeah, he's built a little bit different, but yeah. You very quickly recognize there's no coil. You use your one stun, and the other stun is dead and respawning, so this will just work, apparently. And now BKB is done on the Bloodseeker. BKB is going to be done on the Invoker, and Nick already has his. So we are there. It is time. If the cut were ever going to make a smoke play happen, now is what they've been waiting for. They still lack a lot of that natural initiation. I feel like only fixable by Nick getting that that Blink Dagger sooner or later. But oh my goodness, DogChamp. They're smoking to their ward right now, but if they do not appropriately kind of estimate that these BKBs are done, they could get locked into a team fight where they lose everything.
Oh, Pingu's gonna be here to scout it. Gets caught by the silence, bursted down very quickly. There's gonna be the tornado. Dodge for the moment, but it's gonna catch on to Jube. He's dead. B9 on the side, channeling that freezing field, the stun to connect, and 2 quick kills. No BKBs committed. And Nick, he's looking for Stonebank. He's gonna find him. Obviously, he does have a ward, so he's not too afraid.
And I'll be honest, could have been a whole lot worse.
RCY is taking a ton of damage from his Rupture. Sunstrike comes through as well, but Rupture about to expire. The BKB comes out, and Scourge, he's gonna regret that one. That BKB is not gonna turn into much of anything. Actually, B-God?
B-God!
What? All right, these guys got the schmoves. Pingu mid lane catches the arena and the spear, so it ends up being a 2-for-1 to get the puck. All right, nicely done there. I gotta say a good turnaround there from DogChamp, considering. But yeah, losing the puck there, pretty rough.
I mean, B-Guy's just the hero. Yeah, he turns it from a 2-for-none into a 2-for-1, where he also gets the soul kill and the soul XP because everybody else is already leaving. But that's where mid tower still surviving. Again, they know that the arena's been committed, so they're just kind of looking at Italiano Gangster, being really only afraid of that spear. So not the most fearsome thing in the world, but now, okay, we've gone a good little bit here where Stonebank's been able to kind of just do whatever he wants. The cut being able to very deliberately get onto that next objective, it's the next stage of the game. It's where if they do start to stall it a little bit too long, the heroes that are not going for those big items, the puck and the PO, they can just kind of build that luxury up more and more. And then it becomes a question of, can you get me the cut? Can you actually find these new plays, or are we going to kind of get away with murder here? Because as it stands, Stonebank's getting that space. Once he has Manta, he's not really going to be afraid of too many other things here. And then once he has the Shard, your tier 2s and your high ground, it's going to be a whole different level of push that needs to come out from the cut.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be an issue here for Stonebank as he just hits his level 15, grabs that extra strength. And of course, he's always got Jube playing behind him on the IO. Meanwhile, mid lane, B-God's looking for B9, instantly cancels that. Even drops the Static Storm and Kinetic Field, thinking they might be able to get one, but the reload comes in mid. Pingu actually surviving for the moment. Stonebank's here all alone. He's ruptured up, he's chased after Pingu and just dies. Oh no. That's your big counter to the IO reload, right? Has always been Disruptor.
Yep. And it's just the good positioning. And usually you don't make that relocate happen unless you are 100% certain what's going on. And okay, Pingu's dead. Got the free kill, but there's a drag back top on Jube. Will he survive?
Nope. No, it just barely goes down. The Level 4 rebound doing way too much damage. Nick here has to be careful. Does not have a BKB, and Destroyer on this puck doing work. He's going to try and TP on home, but there's going to be the spear that comes through. And now B-God, of course, unable to escape it as well. So they turn this around big time.
Yeah, and they get something, right? That's the big thing. If they can start to punish these BKBs, really, BKB usage has been very liberal on the cut side. I feel like they've been kind of forced into positions where they've been trying to get maybe, again, a little too active, especially for Scourge and Lil Nick. Nico's really been the only one patient enough to just kind of sit far back, but that's also where they can continue to keep Stonebank on that back foot. It's going to matter more and more. And Destroyer got glimpsed back by Pingu, but is he actually able to walk this one out? Probably.
Dude, that glimpse does so much damage now.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
People don't realize, like, I actually played Disruptor recently, and my highest damage spell at the end of the game was literally Glimpse.
Oh, and, you know, I don't want to sound too much like, you know, an American, but when things do damage, it's just fun, you know? Like, having
true.
Glimpse actually do something.
Oh, they caught Scourge. Mid lane, the Blink Spear out from Italiano. Doesn't allow him to get the BKB, and with that one, that's a massive kill as they smoke up right away. They are looking for more. They still have the coil available. Bottom lane looking for Pingu, but he is just hiding himself in the trees right now. They might get a glimpse of him. Nope, not for the moment. See what I did there with Glimpse?
Yeah, and well, okay. Smoke up. I feel like this should just fail. Of course, no play is a failure for DogChamp because there is just the PL farming always, but at the same time, they got to be really cautious here. Perfect way for this to break, though. The PL,
the puck,
yeah, he'll just immediately break away. B9 does still kind of get caught there, cost of doing business, but if you can get Jube out as well, that'd be perfect. I think that might be a pipe dream, though, especially if Nick really wants it.
The lasso.
Yeah, he really wants it. Gives it to Nico as well. So, what a kind teammate. Nice
friend, yeah. That's good teamwork right there. Meanwhile, mid lane, Destroyer, he's been caught on the glimpse. He's like, oh, a haste room, but that's kind of a bait. Oh, ends up popping the blink. The BKB comes out from Scourge. He gets some couple auto attacks. So that'll do it. That's the revenge arc that he's on after the mid lane death.
Oh, for sure. Well, that was his first death too on Scourge, but now we are in that realm though, where okay, these pickoffs are great. You're killing heroes, you're getting yourselves into these areas, but Stonebank's still in the triangle. You haven't kicked him out yet. You haven't gotten another tier 2 aside from bottom either, and your lineup also can't really kill Roche just yet because Scourge needs, I think, maybe one more stat-based item after he finishes Mjolnir. So the game is not yet won. I feel like that's where they still have to play a very clean game, and if they do start getting a little bit sloppy, that's where Stonebank could just wallop you in a fight, and Stonebank is fight ready. He's almost level 18. He doesn't have any of his heart components just yet, but even with just the Manta, a fight where he is not ruptured, or he is not lassoed, where he knows those abilities are on CD, is a fight that he can run wild in.
Yeah, absolutely. He is very strong, and we're closing on the level 18 for both of their cores, right? RCY here on the puck getting very close, and that's going to be a big timing for him as well. So obviously he still has to deal with the BKBs, but if he's able to coil up one of these heroes outside of the BKB timing or cooldown, or just the support, it does manage to hold them in place for quite a while.
Yeah, and with the game going, all BKBs are back up. Pressure is yet again on the cut to make something happen here, and there is that BKB on Italiano, so the Mars can jump and at least escape with some pretty big confidence there. Maybe force another spell to be wasted on him if we do get in that super long engagement, but also got to look, the duos in the top lane, they would like to do a reload on a jump, but everything is very tense right now.
I mean, Ping is just going to be ready and waiting on that reload location. That's the thing, right? He is doing pretty good at playing near his cores right now. They're going to smoke up his 5. The cut want to take the fight to DogChamp, and I think top lane is where they're aiming, right? They did see... They have this ward that's actually going to scout Italiano Gangster, and they do know Jube is hiding in the trees. They're also going to see B9 as well. And the big kill is going to be that Mars, and there it is, the lasso into the meatball. More than enough damage to find that kill. Glimpse onto B9 and cancel that TP on out. And 2 quick kills go the way of the cut. They also managed to find Jube. Nick's got him. All right, double kill for the Bat Rider. 3 for 0. This will open up Roshan if they decide to go for it, but... I mean, I guess Nico, I mean, he's got to connect with him to do this. You have to have the Invokers, Forge Spirits, and Alacrity.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. If you still have the Unleash, even Marcy would help out a little bit more, but I think they can at least get it started. It's not going to be too scary, even though RCY got pretty much the best rune to at least get a hint of what's going on here, and he does have the orb that's going to constantly give him vision, but that's where the vision advantage still kind of remains with the cut here, and if he's not careful, RCY could just get... Oh!
Wait a minute.
Wait a second.
They just Static Storm this. He's in trouble. Yeah, that's going to be the Aegis. He's going to get Yules there to try and buy him some time, but on the backside, Jube catches a Rupture. Destroyer glimpse right back into the hands of Biga with a perfectly timed rebound. Oh, man. DogChamp grasping for straws, but just does not come out.
Yeah, and I don't know. I understand the want of the steal. They kind of need it if Scourge has this Aegis. Now, you cannot afford to spend any spells. The only target has now moved over to that Invoker, an Invoker that they have not been getting because Nico has been so aware of his own positioning. But now he's got a Shiva's Guard. So maybe this is their opportunity because he's going to run in, Shiva's Guard all the PL illusions. Maybe that's their time to kill him, but we still just need to see a jump from Italiano. He's really been getting shoved aside. He's been losing out on farm, losing out on levels. He just needs to get something going for him, I think, solely. Because right now, everything is just coming at just way too slow of a pace. Even with the team fighting with the supports, we just have not seen really any structure going. And okay, here we go. And yep, got greedy. He went for the Arena Spear, and now he's going to get his own BKB forced, an even trade. And you're really unhappy if you're the Mars.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Ooh, Stonebank just jumps onto the high ground here. B-God needs to get that rebound out. Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage here. Coil comes out onto just instantly BKBs, but Disruptor not going to be as lucky. Drops the Static Storm, ends up finding the real PL in here, and Scourge is going to go to town. Can they actually get the damage off? Oh my god, can they indeed? Stonebank getting absolutely shredded. That heart did not save him. You've still got an Aegis on this Bloodseeker as Jube is going to get ran down. Triple kill for the Bloodseeker as Italiano is just trapped. The Rupture is there. Little Nick with the high five just taunting him. He can't get out. There's just no way. Oh, wait, he can now. Yeah. Well, that blink, though. A lot of damage. Ooh. Okay, Nico.
Well...
Well, that is quite the fight.
He felt so confident with his heart, but yeah, then just gets kind of baited to really overextend. Maybe if he gets the Doppel out of the Static Storm, that's just a good situation for him. But that's also where with the BKB Marcy, as soon as that Unleash procs, you know which one is real. All of the damage comes through, you get everything out, you do so much damage as well with the Mjolnir. I just feel like he really overestimated himself there, and what felt like a pretty good position for DogChamp, you know, not the best. Your Mars was still, again, kind of falling behind, is now skyrocketed, what, 7k net worth in really the course of a minute, and now 2 minutes still on the Aegis as well. I feel like the map is going to get more and more locked out now, as the Kites still have these super kind of deep pick-off oriented wards that they've kept pretty much the entire game. I think it's the big reason why they've been finding so many of these key kills. On top, well, is Jube getting a die? They see him, but nope.
And Nico does have his level 20 talent now as well, so meatball damage, a real issue in these fights, of course. And he queued up the Hex. I mean, pretty much the standard, same stuff we saw out of him last game. Does switch things up a little bit with Shiva's Guard here. But yeah, I mean, Nico is just owning once again on this Invoker.
Yeah, now smoke on smoke, but look at the breaks. Yeah, Italiano, he has to be so scared, and now B9.
Yeah. He did what he could to try and slow this fight down, but he is just surrounded. Glimpse going to be forcing that BKB from Italiano Gangster. This feels so bad for the side of DogChamp. They're just trying to get out. They're looking for Destroyer here on the puck. He's only got so many spells up. The BKB comes through from B-God. Dispose pulls him right back in. Nick, his BKB is still available. And with this one, a Yule's even as well. But Destroyer's just dying solo here to the Marcy almost. He gets to jump on over to the other side. Jube here to try and keep him alive. The Rupture even as well. They predict where he's going. Into the trees. He goes dead. And Jubei's going to join him. Oh, man. A chase. A long chase. But the Cut are feeling it. They get themselves the big kills. And instant TP bottom lane here from Nick. But there is a ward that scouted this. So he knows exactly here on Italiano what he's dealing with. He has no BKB. He's got a lasso still. Oh, no. Into the Sunstrike. Arena comes out. A second flame break. He's going to be able to continue to build up these napalm. Oh, he actually didn't cast that napalm. Blimstone pulls him right back into the hands, and Nico is here to help finish him off. Tornado to secure the kill. Godlike now on the Invoker.
Oh, he's so big. And okay, actually, mid. The game just keeps on going, but unfortunately, yeah.
It's you know, hasted Marcy, Scourge. Oh my God, Nico. Dude doesn't miss, man.
He plays Invoker just a bit, yeah. That's 973 on the Inscribed gem for Sunstrike kills, you know.
That's pretty good.
Good stuff everywhere, but yeah. Boots of Bearing also just finished up on the Bat Rider, so now once that peel does find that target that he's been looking for, they might just walk away from him, because you could just kind of walk and vibe, do whatever you need, but I think this comes down to the lineup being so weak versus these BKBs, and now Stonebank, he's trying everything he can desperately. He's now, you know, in what was pretty much the only win condition for DogChamp. It still feels like a big struggle, and the Cut, they do, again, still have to be very careful. Their way to win this game is by getting Roche and then making plays with the Aegis, and when they don't have it, they can throw very, very easily. It just feels like those mistakes aren't coming as easy as DogChamp really want them to. And they're not doing enough to really make those situations kind of work for them. I think themselves have gotten pretty scared. We're not seeing supports really get those pickoffs. We're not seeing those easy deaths. I mean, every time they've tried to kill Pingu, somebody dies in the Static Storm. And here they go.
Whoa, that spear teleporting the Disruptor just a little bit, but with the BKB from Scourge McDuck, Mar is going to go down. Jubei comes in to try and offer his assistance, but Nico with the big blink Shiva is going to help find the real hero here as Stonebank actually ends up missing with the lasso. They're looking to find him, but Lil Nick just getting burned down here. The BKB will protect him. Bashing up, doing what they can, and Stonebank falling low so fast as the Maelstrom starts brocking. Crystal Maiden once was there. Puck here on the backside gets bashed. Nope, not quite yet, but a Sunstrike to catch him. Nico, come on, man. He's too good.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It just keeps on landing. He keeps on hitting, but even in that fight, he does so much. He does, for the first time in this game, put himself out of position. He blinks into 4 heroes, gets a 4-man Shiva's Guard, BKBs, walks around, even disables the blink of the puck there by just deafening blast perfectly, because the spell usage, it's just all been perfect. And now, what a lead to be playing in. But Nico, what a joy to watch.
Absolutely wild performance from him this game. And yeah, I don't know where the comeback is. It's now a 19,000 gold lead. It has been a steady slope for sort of the side of the Cut. It's been ever increasing though. And as you close in on the level 25, I mean, Nico about to have his Hex as well. That is incredibly soon. Yep, Meatball's gonna drop to clear the wave, and that will be it.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot here, but that's where anything can happen in the second Roche pit. Maybe that's where they can finally get some type of initiation. You've got that Ags shard finished up on Italian as well. Get the double spear, just anything at this point. And in that fight, the heroes that don't have great inherent armor still get shredded by PL. If Stonebank can stick on anybody, he can still kill them, but yeah, that's where I almost wish that Stonebank would change his build up and look at something like the Scotty, just that way he can make these ranged heroes really hurt. But again,
Arena Spear doesn't actually connect onto Pingu. He's trapped here for sure, but kind of just biding his time. He'll go ahead and give up that death, does have the buyback. Doesn't want to drop the Static Storm unless they're finding like PL or Puck, it seems. Speaking of Puck mid lane, B-God nearly just solos him with a Basher. Up onto the high ground, Sunstrike, not gonna find him, but Nico on the backside finds Crystal Maiden. Good oh my God, Rupture onto Jubei, gonna try and TP on out. Does he get the bash? He does, oh he does! Okay. Unlucky there for Jubei. Meanwhile, Marcy silenced up, out of position, no spells left. Gets brought down. A little bit of a trade there for both teams. They're going to buy back here on the Crystal Maiden. No Roshan for another minute, though.
No, and if only the Roche was alive there, because they used everything. That was all
Yeah.
the BKBs. That was honestly a fight where, very simply, every time somebody got frostbitten, they just did not want to be frostbitten. They popped their BKBs super casually, and then I think that's why Marcy ends up going down there, because really there's nothing that the team could do at that point with how much was forced out. But for Roche, just not behaving for DogChamp, not giving him an easy win here. But it's also where 35 seconds to where we're going to see that next stage of the game open up here, even though, shockingly, it's only the second Roche, but just because of how long
they found Puck top.
Uh-oh.
Sunstrike.
Static Storm.
Oh! Yeah, the Yule's actually buying him just enough time. He's out. Dude, that status resistance on the Kaya Sanj actually saves him.
No, that's pretty sick there, and, well, the tools are kind of dwindling right now for the cut. That was, yet again, another situation where you'd like to get your pick and then move on to your next target. At least all the BKBs are up, but even then, it feels a little bit strange. And RCY is no slouch. He's getting a lot of farm, and of course, once you get that 25 on Puck, the game completely changes, and these heroes that have 6-second BKBs are going to really get punished by you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is like Pingu is closing in on an Aghanim Scepter here for this Disruptor. And that will make things quite difficult for the side of DogChamp, but Roshan just now respawning, gonna get scouted there by the Invoker, of course. DogChamp know that it's up. I mean, do you think they can threaten the Roshan before like the Static Storm and Lasso come off cooldown, or are they too afraid to go in there?
I feel like they're going to be too afraid. I feel like this is going to be a little bit tough. And wait, Stonebank.
They found Stonebank mid.
What a scary situation. That was going to be Hex reveal as well. That could have been just a game right there. That would have been a free Roche. I think Stonebank does have buyback, but even then, I feel like looking for his next item would have been maybe more important here. But now, they're going to still hunt, and they know.
Stonebank is... So that means they know where he isn't. In top lane, Nick's looking for the Puck. He gets the lasso. The arena is there. They pull him into the Static Storm, but the damage and the follow-up's not quite there in time. And Mars just going to try and TP on out. Gets bashed. Pingu dies on to that freezing field damage. They'll be able to turn around, get the Puck. Or I'm sorry, rather the Crystal Maiden. But Puck, on the other hand, is in a lot of trouble. Blinks the other way. He's actually safe. Oh, is he for the moment? Lil Nick's going to find him here. Jube on top of him as well. Gets caught there by the lasso. Forced to BKB himself, but it's going to be Stonebank who's trying to join the fight. Doppelganger's down to the low ground. Invoker has a blink in one, but B-God maybe getting a little bit too aggressive there. There's going to be the EMP. Scourge McDuck is here on this Bloodseeker. He's out of mana, but he's still got that Maelstrom ticking around. But with the IO rejoining as well, they got to be very careful. Batrider getting beat down here by the Puck. There's been a slow, painful death here for Lil Nick, it seems. He pops those Boots of Bearing, has a blink in one. Hasn't opted to use it quite yet. Oh, he almost blinked into the orb and died.
Oh, yeah. That was extremely close, actually. But, again, it's the power of that PL and how early these BKBs are getting used. And even there on the lasso, it was a small play, but Italiano Gangster actually knocked the Marcy out of his rebound with the God's Rebuke. And then things got really sketchy for a second there. And with Roche being alive, again, all the BKBs, they're coming back up cooldown. They're going to all have it for that next fight. But I think it's going to become a matter of whether or not Pingu can actually find his way onto the Puck, or if very simply RCY just blinks out. He's been so obnoxious on this Puck, and it's starting to actually work. Not to mention Stonebank, he's getting some really big, very scary items. I think now he's got, full Orchid coming out on Courier, and almost 25. Just means that if you are stuck in this fight for way too long, as he does get the 25 actually with the Tome, you are going to lose. He has an Orchid. He has the item to punish.
Yeah, I love the crit talent here. It is just so much damage. I was going to say, like, if you go to the Doppelganger here, it feels you're, like, playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. And I think with the PL's damage now, you can kill pretty much any hero he gets his hands on.
He still has an issue of sticking on to anybody for too long, but once he is just sitting there in the fight, it's where I think very easily they could just lose control of what this PL can do. And actually now, the crit talent, Stonebank can be the aggressor. He can start Roche. And then the cut have to come. They can't just idly sit by.
Lil Nick also hit 25, so he has the Flame Break, Sticky Napalm stacks. This is probably one of the most frustrating talents in the world to play against. Like if you're a support and you just don't have BKB, you just like get flame break, sticky napalmed, and then flame breaked again, and you just die.
There we go. They scout it. This is not fast enough. Yeah, Stonebake, he has to leave. He can't make it too easy.
Nick. He's gonna go up onto the high ground. Will scout them and turns attention over to B9, and there it is, the lasso right into the blood right. They will find themselves the kill, but that is BKB and lasso down on the other side of the fight. They've managed to find the Mars. The Hex comes through, secures that kill, and they've also caught Puck inside the Static Storm. That's the Ags reveal there. They're gonna buy back on 2, trying to get into this game as Stonebank. He's all alone up here on the high ground. He's starting to run. Pops that Manta. They don't actually connect onto the Rupture. Turns attention over to Pengu, gets himself a quick kill, but where's the right one? The blink, there's gonna be the spear. They catch the March, the Tornado, trying to do what they can. Scourge, he's still alive around the Bloodseeker, doing what they can. They finally found the right PL. Radial Deafening Blast actually doesn't connect. Instead, they're gonna try and take down Tiny Gangster. That's gonna be a dieback if they get him. The spear away is gonna give him the space he needs, and the coil does connect onto 2. Nick being chased down by Stonebank, but he gets the blink out at the last second, despite all of those spells being thrown. No, wait a minute. Scourge? He's in with the BKB and the Mjolnir. He's just got to run away now. Wait a minute, they're running. Oh, how did the Crystal Maiden get back here? TP'd into the outpost, I guess. Thought she could rejoin this fray, but instead runs right into the enemy heroes. An Invoker with a pause. Headset issues, we'll see.
That's a little confusing. You kind of just end up in the wildest of positions, but how many spells were actually cast on illusions in that fight? I feel like there was an Abyssal Blade, there was at least one Silence, I think a Hex went through onto one. Stonebank's just never showing his real hero. He keeps on getting out of it, and I think this Trickster Cloak is causing way too many issues, and the sentries aren't getting placed because the supports keep on dying so early. I mean, that fight, I feel like real Stonebank was just never the one dying. He was just always kiting around. And even though now Mars and Puck, they don't have buy, Stonebank can just go back into the pit. And now, unless you want to drag yourselves out to the other side of the map without your BKBs, pretty much only relying on Little Nick to make this team fight happen for you, this is going to be a big risk, but one they almost have to do. If they can get Stonebank in the pit, they can win. If they don't, you could see this go kind of belly side up here as Roche is dying. Making space for it.
Last on the backside, they got the Puck. That's a dieback, and Scourge is going to go into the pit. Where's the Aegis? It's end up snatched by this Phantom Lancer, so yes, you do have a second life, but they're just going to ignore the PL, potentially. Glimpse just instantly destroys him. They will take down the Disruptor, so a trade there at least, but SMT needs to be careful. He's trying to stand his ground here against this Phantom Lancer. He does have this Satanic to work with, and the Maelstrom just doing so much work. Oh, no. He pops the Satanic, but he gets speared. In the meantime, B-God comes in. He's got the sidekick as well. A Tiny Gangster trying to survive, but he will not be able to, and now it's just PL surrounded by the side of the cut. And with 4 heroes dead, the PL, the only one with the buyback, that might be the end of the game here.
And it's such a good arena spear from the Mars. If they were just a little bit more patient, he just dies at the worst possible time on the PL. He dies when he would be doing the damage, where he would be doing the DPS during that spear, and everything just kind of goes wrong. And dying back on Jubi as well. I mean, he's been struggling this game. This is not an easy IO game in the slightest, but now, you know, you get the buyback on the PL. That's your win condition right there. The cut to anything, they look at you in the wrong direction, they kill you, and then they win the game. But there's also 40 seconds where they could probably get at least 1 Rax pretty much for free, but I almost feel like they could swing for 2 before DogChamp can really do anything to stop them. Yeah. Oh my god, Nick.
Yeah, he just jumped right in there to see if he can find. Oh, the Blink X, they got the PL! Oh, with the meatball damage, it's so much. B9 gonna be able to pop that freezing field, do what he can, but Stonebank's forced into the fountain. I mean, there's no way they chase it, but they get fort? Okay, that's a lot of damage from the fort. Oh my goodness. But
yeah,
Scourge can be able to heal back up for the moment.
It's a little scary. And I think with that, they kind of have to just be happy with what they just got. But I feel like they are happy with what they just got. That was almost the game win right there. If anything, it was just them getting now their easy way to push onto these towers, because they do still need, I want to say, that Aegis to feel completely confident. Only thing you can do now if you're DogChamp, though, is get this Puck onto as many waves as possible. Get the 25, get a situation where you can punish anyone that pops their BKB and then snaps that coil. And then I feel like DogChamp can still actually fight. They just have one fight left in them. Otherwise, it's over.
Yeah, I agree. There's a haste rune bottom. We're probably going to see them pick that one up on either, I would say, Invoker. Yeah, it looks like he's going to pop the Ghost Walk, grab this himself that haste, and see if he can find himself a new victim. Oh, he goes in. He gets the Hex. He finds the right PL, but where's the follow-up? He ends up just jumping out instead. He's realizing, he's like, all right, never mind. Don't have this. They do force the reload, though. Sunstrike. Not going to come through. They're trying to figure out where it is. It's up on the high ground, it seems. Ward Sentry is going to scout the rotation in from the cut. The quick Abyssal Blade. Juve saved by that Aesthetics cap. He gets glimpsed back to the fountain. The damage will end up finishing off when he gets there. And they get the Constellation kill as well onto B9. Meanwhile, at the base, they found Tiny Little Gangster. It's B-God just beating him down here on the Marcy. The Basher doing the work. And they're looking for more. Inside the base, the Blink Hex out from Nico. Once again, the Radial Deafening Blast. And that is it. GG comes out as Stonebank dies. And the cut will take the series 2-0.
Yeah, they kind of just end up hemorrhaging kills. We don't get to see that last team fight, which I'm so sad about. They just get to call GG because they lost outside the base instead of, you know, playing necessarily all their outs here. But I think really the cuts lineup, it was just too useful. Everybody had too much agency. You know, it was a tri-core lineup where they all needed to get a very cheap item. They all just got BKB after really the first thing they bought, and then no, it works because it works. BKB is a great item, and I think too good of an item versus DogChamp's lineup. And in the way that they drafted, I mean, it's pretty easy to call what they needed to do on the cut. And Stonebank, he had time. He had one fight where I think he looked really like he could have won this game for everybody else, but then you kind of lose a little bit too much. The other cores fall behind. You can't really do anything. And then the cut just have so much surplus. And Nico, 12-0-29. Doesn't have as many kills as Scourge, but man, that guy just made things happen, and it looked so seamless.
2 games in a row, man. That's the thing. 2 games in a row. He absolutely crushed it on the Ember Spirit. And this game proves that he's not just a one-trick pony. It makes it happen on the Invoker. He did well. He did very well. The cut will take this first series 2-0. A good way for them to start the BTS Pro Series all around. I mean, today was an interesting day. 2 O's for all of our games, which is very, very rare. I feel like we don't see that very often. But a long day indeed, as we have been live for, what is it, 7 hours? Yeah, 7 hours now. Been a good one. Been fun. Not too bad. Yeah, big shout out to BTS for putting this tournament together, and of course HyperX for sponsoring it. We very much appreciate you. For those of you who don't know, there is a giveaway. There's a discount going on for one of their brand new monitors. It's coming out very soon. You should check it out. It's sick. I'm not normally one to be excited for products, but this is a good one. This is a good one. HyperX, you done good. My name's rkryptic. I'm here with ET. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you all here at the same time. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you soon.